Have you ever dreamt of traveling the world, discover other culture, food? If you have, then you and I have this in common, and this video is for you. Imagine visiting every country in the world without leaving the comfort of your armchair. It is possible, and I am planning on doing it not through airports, not through social media, but through stories, one country at a time. And today I would like to invite you to join me in participating in the Armchair Traveler Challenge. And if you stay until the end, I will share with you some resources you can download to guide you and help you in your journey around the world in 193 books. So what is this challenge? The idea is simple. Read at least one book from every country in the world. That means 193 countries, 193 books. But here is an important detail. The goal is not speed. In fact, one of the core ideas behind this challenge is discovery over competition. This challenge can take and will take years. There is no deadline, no pressure, no 100 books a month energy. The purpose is to slow down and encounter the world through fiction. Books can be novels, graphic novels, poetry, plays, manga, folk tales, literary fiction, fairy tales, genre fiction, and as long as the story is primarily set in the country it represents or is written by an author connected to that country, either through birth or through living in the country for most of his or her life, it's valid. And yes, translations absolutely count. We do not expect you to be able to read books in 193 languages. So why did I create this challenge? I realized something. I often stay inside the same literary worlds. And there is nothing wrong with loving familiar literature, nothing wrong with reading a favorite genre, favorite author. But at some point, I started wondering, what am I missing? Why does What does family look like in a Senegalese literature? How is grief written in Japanese fiction? What themes appear again and again in South American novels? The world is full of literary tradition most of us barely encounter. And I wanted reading to become not just entertainment, but exploration. So as I'm going through my project and preparing for this video this morning, I realized that I already had a bunch of books from other countries that I read. And so yes, readings from the past will count towards the challenge. So I'm going to introduce to you the books and the countries that I have read already. The first one is from Belgium, Amélie Nothomb, Les Aérostats, or The Airships. The second one is Brazil, Paulo Coelho, Hippie. So the story is not all in Brazil. It goes around multiple countries in South America, but he has a big portion in Brazil. The third one is from Canada. It's a play titled Les Belles Sœurs, or The Sister-in-Law, Sisters-in-Law, plural, by Michel Tremblay. For Cameroon, I have Ville Cruelle by Esa Boto. Colombia, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Cien años de soledad, 100 years of solitude. Next, I have Equatorial Guinea, and this is Black Boy by Camara Lai. And then France. For France, I have an entire library, so I just picked one very famous. The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Haïti, Gouverneur de la Rosée by Jacques Roumain. Next is Ireland, A Sheepdog Named Oscar by Dara Waldron. Then Italy, Italo Calvino, Le Baron Perché, The Baron in the Trees. Then we have Japan, Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Lebanon, Dernière Oasis by Sharif Majdalani. Mali, Sous l'orage by Seydou Badian. Under the Storm. And Senegal, L'aventure ambiguë or The Ambiguous Adventure by Cheikh Hamidou Khan. Next, we have Spain, Le Tableau du Maître Flamand or The Flanders Panel by Arturo Pérez Reverte. United Kingdom, I had a lot of choice also, but I selected Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice. And the last country that I have right now is the United States, and I selected The Devil Wears Prada, Le Diable s'habille en Prada by Lauren Weisberger. So as of today, I have covered 20 countries on 5 continents, and I'm sure that if you were to look at what you have read, what is on your shelf, you would find books from other countries too, and you would not be starting from scratch. So if you stayed with me all the way to this point in the video, I would like to thank you now by sharing with you some resources I created for this challenge. And these resources I found in the description box below. You will find links to 2 documents. The first document is like a general introduction with the rules, and there is also a list of entries for you to journal your adventure, your reading, your literary journey, and also a list of recommendations if you are not sure where to begin. The second document is actually the list of 193 countries that are represented at the UN right now, organized alphabetically by continent. And I also included a section for territories that are not represented at the UN in case you would like to include them to your journey. Territories such as, but not limited to, of course, Puerto Rico, Greenland, etc. So I hope you join me. And for my next read, I would like to discover literature from South Korea or New Zealand. So if you have good recommendations from these 2 countries, please drop them in the comment below. These will be very helpful. Or if you don't have any recommendations, leave titles and countries of some of the books that you have read and that you really enjoyed. Or if you don't have any recommendations, you could just leave some titles and the countries in the comment below of some of the books that you have read from, I don't know, Greece and Germany and other countries. And before leaving, I would like to give you also an update on my TBR. If you remember, I had 195 books on my TBR a few weeks ago, and I am now down to 187 books on my TBR. So it's going down slowly. And these are the books I read in the last 2 months. The first one that I read in the last two months is L'Émeraude des Garamantes by Théodore Monod. Théodore Monod was a specialist of the Sahara Desert, and this is one of his memoirs on his travels. He went across the Sahara Desert. The second one is Néron and Paul by Kathy Lee Gifford and Brian M. Lifton. A very interesting read. I have a lot of notes. The third book that I finished and I found absolutely fascinating is Book and Dagger by Elise Graham. And I sincerely do hope someone one day will create a movie off of this book. It's how scholars and librarians became the unlikely spies of World War II. Fascinating. Next, I read Best Wishes from the Full Moon Coffee Shop. And this, it was on my TBR, and it's from Japan. So it could also enter my Read the World Challenge, Armchair Traveler Challenge. Then I read The Grammar of Fantasy by Gianni Rodari, which is actually an Italian book by an Italian author. So that also could fit in the challenge, although it's non-fiction. I also read J.R.R. Tolkien, Roverandom, the story of the little dog that his son lost one day at the beach. It was a toy dog, it was not a real dog. Eh? And he wrote that one for his sons. And this is United Kingdom. Then I read The Attributes of God by Arthur W. Pink. And I read also A.W. Tozer, The Attributes of God, Volume 1. A lot of notes. And I just realized that I forgot one book. It's from Singapore, and it's Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. So, thank you for watching. I'm going to link a video I created with the 12 ideas to tackle down a monstrous TBR without giving up bookstores. Also, if you have a video where you talk about your TBR, please link it in the comment below, and I would like to support your channel and share your adventure and watch your video. So, I will see you in my next video on my TBR. See you there!